Hey guys, welcome back to Cooking with Renee. This time I'm making like a meatball soup. It's kind of like a bone de gosse, but not exactly because, I don't know, I don't follow recipes and I just kind of threw my thing together. So if you want to learn how I made this soup, then just keep on watching and I'll walk you through it. And again, all these ingredients can be done in your own way. So what I like to do is I like to chop up my squash and zucchini into halves, and then I also chopped up about 4 celeries and about 4 carrots. I'm using low sodium broth, and again, you can use any broth you want. I'm using this, and I actually ended up using 2 beef and 2 chicken. Again, if you want to go full keto on this, then you can go ahead and continue with bone broth or whatever. But this is a low carb meatball soup because I'm going to use chicharrones instead of breadcrumbs, but again, you can go ahead and use anything you want and substitute. You could put breadcrumbs in if you want it that way, but this is just something that I enjoy and that I can eat on my keto diet. So you're going to need some chicharrones, like I said, and I went ahead and crushed them up. So they're fine like a breadcrumb. I went ahead and used, really good beef. I'm going to need some garlic, and these are my herbs that I used. And again, you don't have to use any of this. It's just optional. Definitely cilantro, though, and mint, and salt and pepper. But again, you could throw in whatever. And you're going to need to chop up like a little piece of an onion. This is, again, going to be for the meatballs, and we're going to end up cutting the rest of that onion later. So while I'm doing the meatballs, I like to get the soup started. So I'll throw in the vegetables and the stock and just put it on simmer. So while I'm making the meatballs, I could get going with the vegetables because those are going to take the longest. So I'm going to go ahead and chop up some cilantro. And this is just a rough, fine chop. But in a bowl, I put the meat in and the onions. And now I'm going to just add everything to it. So there's the cilantro. And then I did some mint, and again, it's all your preference. If you only want to use a little bit of mint, you can. If you don't want to use it, don't use it at all. But I'm just giving you what I do, and you could substitute, you can remove, you can add, whatever you like. But this is just a guide for you. And these meatballs are very tasty. And again, just adding in some herbs. This is all, I did a few pinches of each. You can do 1, you could do 5, it's all up to you. Seasoning is what makes everything much better. And again, I'm adding in some crushed mint. I mean, I have like a whole Lazy Susan of spices, and sometimes I just pick spices, so just anything that is going to taste good for you. You could put rosemary, you could put thyme, I mean anything you want. It's however you want to make your meatballs. And I added in some crushed red peppers just to give a little heat. And of course, salt and pepper, which I ended up taking off the lid and throwing in some. So even though it looks like a lot, you got 2 grounds of beef here, so you want to make sure it's well seasoned. And then I'm going to also throw in a little bit of garlic, crushed garlic. Again, you don't have to put garlic in it if you don't want to. This is just my version. And then of course, per pound is going to be 1 egg, so I put 2 eggs in for each pound, so 1 pound per egg pretty much. And of course I used the grass-fed cage-free eggs because again, I'm on keto. I did the best that I can with this low carb recipe, and wherever I could save some low carb and good ingredients, that's what I'm going to do. And again, throw in your crushed chicharrones for your breadcrumbs, or substitute and put real breadcrumbs in. And then start mixing, and again, you could use your hands as well. But you want to get it all mixed really well together, and then you're going to end up rolling each one into a small ball. Not really small, but like a good palm-sized ball. And then make sure they're all about the same, so they all cook the same. And there they are. So look at all that seasoning in them. And I'm going to actually pan fry them and just get a good crust on the outside. I do one side and then the other, and then I just throw them into the soup. So see, I get a little crust on them. That also holds them together and gives it really good flavor. And while I'm frying them, I'm throwing them in. And then I ended up cutting up that onion like I said before, just to use the rest of it. And I had one zucchini left, and I just threw it in as well, and it was fine. It didn't feel like it was too al dente. It was perfect. So you could throw in extra vegetables at the end. So again, here's the soup. All the meatballs are in there now. I set a timer for about 20 minutes. And again, like I said, if you started it beforehand and you let everything simmer while you're making those meatballs, it kind of cuts the time of you waiting. So I just put it on for another 20 minutes. I checked a meatball. If it was cooked through all the way, then it's done. If your vegetables are still too hard, then you could leave it again. But my vegetables were perfect. They were just right. They weren't too mushy, and that's how I like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and also, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to. And if you try it, let me know. Talk to you later. Bye.